Good morning, everybody, and happy Monday. I hope you all had a lovely weekend. It's been a sort of a weird few days. I hope you had the opportunity to time with your family, because I think that's sort of the key thing that we're all taking away from that. We here at Crafters TV, and I'm not on my own. I have got you for such a long time.
It's been such a long time. Yeah, I've not seen you since I came back.
Yeah.
And I was off for 9 weeks, so it's like...
and we don't see each other every week, do we? So I reckon it's been about 12 weeks since we've seen each other.
Possibly, something like that.
It feels like a quarter of a century.
Yeah, yeah. It's so nice because if we do cross paths, it's maybe on a Friday or something, or it's maybe just at the back there. So this is the first time that I get to be here on the demonstrating side with you on the presenting side. Go because, you know, you have said in the past sometimes, and we also had Tracy as well. We even had little Minnie as well. Leanne's little dog, she was in with us as well. Home. But yeah, we've got this is the Sarah's Signature Winter Sparkle Craft Along. I have been teasing because I've had quite a few comments. It is 2 hours. Right. It is a full 2 hours.
Because it's gorgeous.
Let's do it. So for anyone that's not seen it, box. This very simply, Becky, this could be on the front of a card. What we're going to do is we're going to open it up to a specific size.
Oh, look at that.
So by the end, I wasn't sure, this side was blank, so I've done it so there's or little lists in there if you're going to be gifting it to. This is where I said the measurements are a specific, and you like that certain brand. It's going to fit 4 of them.
Oh, that's fantastic.
It's going to fit 4 of them. Of course, if you don't want to put anything like that, you don't have to. You can pop anything in. It is with the pattern paper. We are pretty much going to use all of the elements that was Craft Along is about. It's about you getting your hands initially weeks later and doing a craft along with us. So that's what we're going to be making later on in the day.
That's gorgeous. I really like that. Looking forward to that, definitely. So, and then at 6 o'clock we've got Monday Makers. So we've got all pieces we're going to have on those shows, haven't you?
I do indeed. First. So with these ones here, because it is a full in-depth collection that you may have already got your hands on, small of course if you want to, but of course or anything like that you can absolutely do. But what we've also got, we featured these yesterday. Yeah. When it came to Second Chance Sunday. We've got a small amount left, as I was teasing you, which means if there's any left, Monday Makers as well.
Okay, perfect.
But we've got our double gatefold dies. I will show you what other finished samples, the initial concept of them. These are as well. So all of these I'm showing you, we're going to do a demo of each within Wake Up Call, and then we're going to come back. So once again, ribbon, thread and dies. I teased you yesterday. If you have been collection. We've got a small amount. This is one of these small, we found bits and pieces, so we've managed to get some of these within the show as well. But by no means least, these are in the show because we're going to use. So these were my ideas that I put forward to our Leanne in product development. So we're going to be having mats and layers, but you find it a little bit difficult to cut them. Maybe you don't necessarily want to use the guillotine, or of course 6x6 at quarter of an inch increment.
Fantastic. I bought those.
Did you?
I was like, oh, when I heard that you'd created them, I was thinking, oh my goodness, I'm going to have them.
Well, because the thing is you use your magnetic shim, they're going to cut those ways as well, so absolutely.
Yeah, good. I'm looking forward to all of
that.
Me too. Lots of people to Arkansas. Amani says, good morning everyone from Florida. I hope you're all well. Bethan says, good morning, Becky Craig, CTV crew, and a lovely day planned. It's going to be, lots of details about the call when it launched, and it pretty much went in wake-up call before sorry.
Really?
The blues and the silvers, and
it
just is ideal. Really, really beautiful. So this is the bundle that we've got available for you. We did have another larger bundle which is now sold out. So this is what we've got left. So you've got a mixture of different dyes. You've got that lovely snowflake dye that Craig's going to be using. Well, Craig's going to be using all of those elements in that craft along anyway. But you've also got some of that building flakes. You've got the glitter, you've got the downloadable 8x8 paper pad, and you've also got that linen cardstock in there. So the price for this is £60 or $77. Your platinum price is £48 or $61.60. So that's got quite a lot of the different elements in there. And of course, you know, if you've missed out on those paper pads, because those did go very, very quickly, I think they went within a couple of hours when we first launched it, you can of course use that linen cardstock, and you can look around for other collections that we've got in those kind of blue tones designs. So you know, there's definitely that opportunity, and I love the fact that Craig's going to be doing this this craft. And one of the things that we often find, snowflakes are always kind of key, aren't they? So even if you've not been lucky enough to get the snowflake dyes, you might be able to use instead when we're doing this craft along anyway. And as one of our viewers did, you know, holiday neutral, so it doesn't matter. It's very sort of neutral, and it's going to work for anyone wanting to send any kind of card throughout, you know, sort of the winter period, which makes going to be doing for us today, Craig?
I think so. Yeah. I think we should dive in. We are going to start as Becky was saying, we'll have that main collection as well when it comes to that initial launch. We did have a larger one, also again as Becky was saying, but even before we went live today, it has gone all pads that you've got, maybe you like a style of card you're going to replicate. So have a look at the finished samples I'm away to show you, and see if you haven't got the whole collection. But let's have a look here, because with the dimensional with it, this is, for me anyway, certainly in the Sarah signature or any other collection that we versatile in terms of what you got in the main collection. And you know, you'll see what I mean when we touch upon it within this demo and later on, because there was gilding flakes, there's charms, so much in that initial collection, which some is still available on the show today. Wanting to do your smaller cards, you can do. Want to, you can. That we can see here, and the thing with these ones is the papers we're going to get, it is all going to complement beautifully. So whether it's mint, Snowflake, or whether it is the folder, which is all going to be used within the craft. It is going to work well with the blues, of course, but as you additional colours, you know, for this one here, there's nothing stopping you. A bit of red, you know, quite a deep red.
Yeah.
That again, a little bit of red around the sentiment as well. It's entirely up to you what you would create. You know, many of you are going to have different foiled acetate, diorama cards, concept cards, you know, whether it is theatre cards or edgeable cards, or absolutely do and create. So some ideas for you that you can be doing. What we're going to do, we're going to kickstart, and we're going to get a bit, well, prepared, but we're going to use the shimmer sprays.
Lovely.
So what we're going to do is, I have got a piece of the linen cardstock. We've got, well, in actual fact, it sold out what we did have, but this is the white linen cardstock. What I'm going to do my box, because I don't want to get any of the shimmer all over the place, because we've got John in today, and
yeah, he shouts at us, doesn't he?
I am more scared of Tracy, but when it comes to a I'm going to go in, joking, John, joking. You would find that anything, when it comes to anything water-based or that, you would do on a water card, which of course you can do. Cardstock, you can absolutely do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with this gorgeous winter haze, which is like a blue tone. So, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with the ice. I'm going to spray gorgeous shimmer that comes through while it is wet. So this is one that I have to dry and try to see if we can capture that shimmer that you get through. You go as you want. That's entirely up to you. These are a really don't have any, maybe you want to create your own, because the thing is, every single one is going to be completely unique. Effect. So what we're going to do is, that was cut to 7 1/2 by 7 1/2. Foiled acetate that was in the original collection, and for this one I've cut it just shy of 7 1/4 by 7. My spritz background, as lovely as that is, and you can leave it that initial collection, so go for it. So we can come back just shortly and pop them all together. I've half a bit of baby blue that is 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. We'll come back to that in a moment. And I've got Snowflake. I adore this one, Becky, because but what it is you are, the intention, you're going to cut it twice to create want to pop along the middle.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to come along my 2 cutting plates and I'm going to cut 2 of these ones, Becky.
Okay. I like the fact that you've got that flexibility of having, you know, that idea you'll be able to use again and again, wouldn't you?
Of course you can. It actually die cuts kind of like a long length. You could just snip them away, join the snowflakes together, and you've got a full one. Put a gem or a pearl in the middle and you hide that little join. Perfect. But what we can then do is take bits out and we have the most beautiful half snowflake.
Lovely.
Now this is where you can come in and do some snipping. So if you want to change the look, you know, maybe you want to take little bits out, you can do, maybe you like. So what I'm then going to do is I'm going to do that once again and we're going to run that through another piece. What I've tried to do with this demo, apart from the additional ink that was in that initial launch bundle. So you know that you've got everything. So what we can then do is we can then take this one out. It's out. And we've got another one, Becky. So this is what popping them straight on, keeping that line in, looks lovely.
That looks perfect, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
It looks absolutely perfect. So you'll be able to that one. Oh, no problem. Don't worry, Nicola. Nicola was actually distracted at how beautiful the snowflake. But what you could do is if you wanted to snip away those little lines, then you can. What I've done, and it's entirely up to you now, this next step, I've taken a piece of the 5.5 inches by 3/4 of an inch, and I've gone.
So when you're cutting such small pieces, how do you make sure you get them nice and accurate even whilst using your guillotine?
Let's take our guillotine and we'll go off-piste ever so slightly.
Sorry.
Don't apologise, because it's a question many ask, and it's a good question on the guillotine.
Right.
So I use other areas of the guillotine. So that's a really good question. So tell you what, let's take a bit of that deep to see from. We can take this bit out. I wonder. Easy for you to see.
Yeah.
It does clip out, but I don't want to pull it completely out. Take that one out for now. See these lines here when it comes to the metal?
Oh, yes.
The metal edge.
Yeah.
I use them as well as a guide. Where that last notch ends, right here, although there's not a grid, I even use the indent edges of the screws as a guide as well. This finger guard, this little lip here, is a visual guide as well.
Right.
So if lines, I use them as well. It's not always the grid. So right at the end of that grid line here, so right there, that is that from there, from the edge up to there is 3/4 of an inch, because that next one, just to have a strip that was 3/4 of an inch, what I'll do is I'll go right to the edge. Now tell you what, let's show you an easy way to do it if you've got a full piece of cardstock. So what I'm going to do, full measurement. So I'm going to, now what I can of course do is come in 3/4 of an inch, cut, and there's my strip. But so many of us have offcuts.
Yeah.
And well, can't you just do it this way? You can do it if you've got bigger sheets.
Yeah.
If you don't, then this is there. I'm going to line it all the way down. I'm going to press, and I've also got my 3/4 of an inch width. Do it if I'm using my offcuts.
Yeah.
That
You want to use every tiny little scrap, don't you? You don't want to be
You do.
wasting any of it.
You
Thanks for that.
absolutely
That's
do.
really useful, because sometimes the right angle, you know, I'll be using my guillotine in a better way.
Yeah, and measurements as possible. Also look where else gives you a visual helping hand as well. You don't always have to go by the guides that are there for you. You cherry our scoreboard. Let's see if we've got it. Here we go. It's like our scoreboard. Line down the centre. So it's easy. It's a visual for you to score. These are your tools. Specific size, a specific measurement. You go as visual. The best out of your scraps, then you can do it that way. And with this strip here, and it's still a linen cardstock, and I am using my large Stampin' Ply. It's such a beautiful, delicate sentiment that I want to get it as straight as possible. And also what I'm probably going to do, Becky, is because it's a linen texture, if you it's going to look effective because you're going to have that textured look to it. But if you want it to, then stamp it a couple of times. And this is where your large stamping platform comes into play. So if I want to do sentiment stamping, even though I will always go to...
Is that just because you think it gives a better finish?
I do, yeah. Yep, I do.
Yeah.
But 9 times out of 10, as you can see, I'll always go to my alcohol pens. It's not the case. Don't worry, you can absolutely use it. So let's go in again, because I've missed the 2 edges, but I still want that really crisp impression when it comes to the sentiment. And I'm going to do it one more, because I can see just at the side there. And I'm going to press. So this gives us our season's greetings. You do also get Happy Christmas if you wanted to go for that one instead. But there we go, we've got season's greetings. So we can take that one out. So if I bring in my strip once more, there's actually one last step. I tell you what, I won't do this step, I'll just explain what I've done. In the linen card, and right at this bottom edge, that out, so that I get the 4 centre pieces. And I've done that twice, just to bring that snowflake to life again. At the moment, as I'm going to come along and I'm going to mat and layer all. So let's take all this.
I think the kind of blue colours that you get in this collection, quite bright collection, so that pink and the blue would work really well together. Extend your, your collection if you want to be.
Today we are focusing on the Winter Sparkle craft along, on the Christmas papers from Frosty and Bright.
That's the one I'll be watching then.
So yeah,
definitely.
You can non-consumable elements in this collection with the Frosty. Just quickly as well, Becky, I want to explain how I attach vellum and I cover it. Or acetate, either way. I'm going to go in with my acetate over the top of my spritz background, and before I completely attach this together, top,
Okay.
and I'm going to press that in. Now I'm going to flip adhesive on that back side, around, working it around, and if you are using acetate, why not come in with some of your blue alcohol pens and into certain areas. If you were to do it on this one, what I'm doing now, in this whole piece of acetate, because I'm covering a lot of it. So for me, what I would maybe do is come along and then come along and then cherry pick sections to colour in. So go straight over the top there. That's nicely matte and layered onto there, and I need to cut. You know what I'm like? I love my double-sided tape. You can be using your tape runners, you can be using your glues. I will be using, you use whichever adhesive you find
Do you
easiest.
remember the time when we used to use double-sided tape, but we would only and then place it all down and then pull it apart?
A very, very select few that do that, and first, some people, you love your double-sided tape, but you can be a little bit too heavy-handed. You have got that pretty much instant stick.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you what, we'll do it. So I'll show you what I What to do is do what Becky was just explaining. Come down, maybe, you know, an inch, maybe a bit less, turn it over. Do it on all four sides. Now for me, as many of you will, you don't have to, it's just something that I've always done. Here, and I'm doing a tent fold, so the fold's at the top. Now I can go in, now I have got that confidence and flexibility, so even if I like still come along, and all that I'm going to do is just come up, gently peel that off, and I can go back again. When you're happy, press the four corners and pull. Pull these out, and that gives you your matte and layer. That's what we've done with that one. And then this one, Becky, I'm going to go in with my two snowflakes, and I'm going to use my tacky glue for this one, and I'm going to pop this one to the bottom, this one to the top, and then we can go into the next bit to finish off.
Having that shimmer spray in the background behind that acetate really does make it, doesn't it?
It does. Do you know
Got
what?
a lot of texture there.
Well, it does. It gives you that textured effect, that textured look. But what it also does, I know I've got acetate over the top, so if you don't use the acetate, it gives you that textured feel as well, because it's linen cardstock. I go on about it all the time. I am over the moon, and to Leanne, that so many of our collections now are coming with linen cardstock. Yeah. It's my favourite. It's my absolute favourite. It goes right back to the beginning when I started crafting. One of my first main paper pads I bought was Basel Basics, which is now part of the American Crafts family.
Me too.
And
there was always linen cardstock in there, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. And I still use it now. I will still say, you know, out there, Basel Basics is one of the best cardstocks, and I've said it live on air as well. Our team, as technology has advanced, you know, in our cardstocks and that, and I've said it with hand on heart, I firmly believe, and this is why I use our cardstock a lot, that ours is up to the standard and quality of Basel Basics. You know, I just adore it, and I used to, even working here early days, I would still buy lots and lots of Basel Basics when I found it on offer. I'm not buy it. I do buy it, don't get me wrong. I don't buy anywhere near as much now because I use our texture cardstock, our linen cardstock, Centura Apparel. So that is how much I adore our cardstock. So let's go in. I'm going to press that one in, press that one in. And before I pop my sentiment, what I'm going to do is our little bits that we've pre-die cut. Use your tacky glue or your glue pens that we had on yesterday. I believe we've still got a few of these on our website. These just came back into stock last week. And you will get them on the website. However, if you want a little bit more detail, we are going to maybe feature them in Monday Makers.
Oh, you're just teasing us there, aren't you?
Yes. And I had about a good 3-minute tangent in a good way about them yesterday with having Leanne here. So they are
That looks so effective, just that tiny little bit of paper piecing you're doing there.
Just a little bit, Becky. And it's using a tone of blue that I've not used anywhere else on my card, but was part of the initial bundle. So let's go in. I'm going to go in. So you can see that one I've gone in with the Stay Sticky glue pen, this one with the tacky glue. The only reason I've done that is so that you can see you can use either or.
Yeah.
The tacky glue, we'll explain this more tonight. The tacky glue will dry if you put nothing on top. The Stay Sticky glue pen will stay completely sticky until you put something over the top of it.
Okay.
So, but in saying that, I want to show how you can still use it as a normal glue adhesive. So all that I'm going to do, Becky, put this last one in, come in with our sentiment, and that's it. I'm not adding any more additional embellishment snowflakes from the collection. I'm going to add this on. We're going to go in with our tape. You may also notice, so far, I've kept it all flat, no foam pads, until this sentiment comes along. This is the only part that I'm going to add foam pads to the back. And what I've done as well, with that matte layer, notice how my baby blue layer meets at the edge. I've not got that full matte layer all the way around.
Okay,
Sometimes I just have them at the top and the bottom. It can be quite pleasing for the eye. And let's go in with our foam pads here to add a little bit of height. Just a little, not much. Maybe you want to do this card in the baby blue colours like I've done. Maybe you want to do this with the deep navy and a little paper piece and do them in the baby blue. You can do that. So that's going to go all the way around there, right across the centre. And the reason is I always like to give you that's all going to fit perfectly. So there we go, an 8x8 card. Also as well, Becky, if you wanted to take out that outer element, that would be a lovely little 6x6 card, if you want to. You know, of course, we're on the glass mat, so it's slipping. But there we go. So this is where we're showing you how you can do a bigger card using the main elements. If you want to scale it down onto a 6x6 card, just do that middle bit. Could be the top of a box if you want to, part of a scrapbook pages, cherry picking little sections to use to make this card.
Absolutely beautiful, love that. So this is with the Winter Sparkle collection that Craig was talking about. You've also got that snowflake, half snowflake die cut two, and you can make a complete snowflake with the stamp inside. You've got the corner snowflake die, you've got that panel snowflake die, you've also got those stamps, you've got the shimmer sprays, you've got a chunky glitter, beautiful gilding flakes there as well in the silver. The price today is £60, $77. Platinum price is £48 or $61.60. But we do have some individual parts of the collection available for you today. So this is the Frosty Blizzard 3D embossing folder. Really beautiful one here. You've got $6.99 or $8.95. The next one is your 12x12 paper pad. This is beautiful and everybody wanted this. This is 12x12. You've got 32 double double-sided sheets in there, £14.99 or $19.95. We've also got the 6x6 paper pad, again 32 sheets, £5.99 or $9.95. And as you'll find with all of our paper pads, we've not just cut the large one down, we've actually sort of minimised the images so everything becomes smaller, so it works together with your smaller cards. You've also got chunky glitter. This is really beautiful, almost like an iridescent glitter you've got here, £4.99 or $6.95. And if you really like those shimmer sprays you saw earlier on, they are £12.99 or $14.95. So those are your winter sparkle items, but have a look on the website for all the details of those. We also have the, on Monday Makers later on tonight, we've got the ribbon threading dies, which are really beautiful, and I've not actually seen these in progress, but I think these are absolutely beautiful. So this first one is your elaborate lace, really beautiful there. So you can see the die here, how the die is going to cut, and then finally how you can weave that ribbon through that die. Absolutely sponkingly beautiful. This one is your diagonal lace. Then we have your bold florals. And you don't have to use the lace, the ribbon in these if you don't want to. You could just use them as a panel if that's what you wanted to do. Then we have pretty florals. This one is the Baroque swirls. And the final one is charming lace. That one really lends itself to sort of the body anglais edging that you find on sort of babies' christening robes and that kind of thing. And the price today is £46 or $53. Your platinum price is £36.80, $42.40. Craig, have you got some samples of these over there?
I do indeed.
Fabulous.
Got lots of them here because, as you were saying, Becky, the ribbon thread and dies. That's the reason that they were brought out. They were produced, they were made. But if you want to use them as just background dies, you absolutely can. Really good to paper piece as well. However, the concept of these ones are ribbon threading. So what we've got within these dies here, in each set, you are getting two dies. You're getting the ribbon thread and die, and you're getting the outside die. And that means that if you use the decorative die on its own, you can cut into your cardstock, so you can cut into your card blank any size. If you use the outline die with it, you're going to create a separate element that you can do whatever you want with. So these are some of the things that you can be doing with them. And these aren't designed so that the ribbon threading goes in one way and one way only. You can go at angles, you can do ribbon and twine or threads or anything like that. You can go horizontal and vertical. You can change the colours that you want to. You can do a little bit of ribbon threading and paper piecing as well. Mix it up. You can then come in, cross them over that you can see here. You can do it with your blues, and you can do them with your greens, and in actual collection, the card I'm actually going to do would work well for a baby. Okay. But what about this one? Go bright.
Lovely.
Go multicoloured.
Yeah.
So simple. Now, to do the ribbon threading, it doesn't take long at all. Don't get me wrong, you're not going to do it in a minute. But on the other hand, it's not going to those that you can do them relatively quick, but get this one here. Then many actually have ribbons left over, Becky. Use them up, and you can use a selection when it comes to satin. You can use organza. Maybe you're going to use some from the Winter Sparkle collection, which would actually work well with this one. So, initial layers. I've used some of the navy blue from Winter Sparkle. Shop the Day, that's the best one. We've got Bundle of Centura Pearl and a Knit Wit 12x12 pad collection. Yep. Shop the Day, that's all that I'm saying. So, pop them to the side for the moment. Now, I've got our white multi-purpose cardstock, and I have cut it to 4 by 5.5 inches. Now, I will need to get my dies out. Did I cut it? That would help, wouldn't it? So I'm going to use our bold florals. And what I'm going to do is, if I show you, Becky, so this is the detail die. So cut into your card, use this, it cuts out of your card. I very, very, very rarely do I use the outside die, Becky. I cut the card myself with the guillotine. You know, so I cut it my size that I want, and then the decorative component. Okay. So as I say, I've cut this to 4 by 5.5, and what I've done by doing that, it gives me a slightly bigger mat layer around the edge, because if I was to use that one, it's going to give me a smaller edge. So that's how I like to do that. And all that I need to do is go in with my low tack tape. And what I'm also going to say as well, for something that's so much fun and so decorative, these are going to go through your midi. They're going to go through your midi as well. Yeah. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through a lot of die cut detail in there, same plate configuration. So I'm not adding a metal shim or anything like that. What I am going to do though, and it's worthwhile doing, because there's a lot of shape to it, I'm going to run it through my embossing mat. Now, there's not a lot of embossing detail, but because you're spending time to do the ribbon threading, it really accents the curvature, the die cut edges, you know, it just finishes them off even more beautifully. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in, so base cut and plate with my embossing mat. So that's die cut perfectly. Yeah. As we say, if it looks like a pencil line, it's die cut perfectly. Facing down as if we're cutting into it. Anyone that's relatively new to the Gemini, don't worry, you will not cut your mat as long as you do not include your magnetic shim. If you put your magnetic shim in, then it will annihilate your embossing mat. Too much pressure, and it stretches it and annihilates it. There isn't a technique that I have ever come across, and I believe that there is with the Gemini range, where you have the embossing mat and the magnetic sheet together. Doesn't happen. Right. So it's always one or the other. So we can take this one out, and what we can then do is, of course, we had our die release tool on yesterday. That's when they come in handy. Of course, it's even easier just to give the back.
When you were here, were you doing that when Leanne was here? Because Leanne doesn't like it when we tap the dies, does she?
No, she doesn't.
I shouldn't be doing that.
Yes, she is not a big fan of it.
But you do you.
Exactly.
We all do what works for us at home.
We do. Yeah, and I do say, and Johnny's just said, we've got Johnny and Nicola in the gallery today. It's different when it's your own dies. I know these ones aren't mine, these are the studio set, but still, it's just it's automatic. It's automatic. If you are new to us, because I know we've got some new viewers that have come from QVC UK, because they bought the Winter Sparkle to do the craft along today. Right. So if I do that, it's always the back of the die. Yeah. Don't do the front, because you'll damage it. It's always the back, if you do it. If you're in doubt, use your tools, your pokey tools, that's what they're for. Yeah. Anyway, I've got some beautiful baby blue ribbon, satin ribbon. This is 9mm in width. You can do thicker if you want. Monday Makers will do a wider ribbon. You can have a play as to where you want to feed it in. What I like to do, Becky, is I go in at a bit of an angle, and that's how I feed it through. If you want to put a little bit of sticky tape or a little bit of hot glue on the end to create that point, you can do. But all that I'm going to do to start with is I'm going to go in with my ultra strong red liner tape. So I'm going to find the edge, and I'm going to go around the edge. If I was to use that outer die that came with it, I would use my really thin 3mm red liner tape. But because I've got this width all the way around, it means I'm just going to use my 6mm. So let's work that around. And I don't take the backing off just yet. What I'm going to do is snip that away, and I'm going to go in. So I'm going, you can see it a little bit better.
Forgive me if you said at the beginning, but it's just our normal multi-purpose card that you're using now. You're not using a heavier GSM for that.
You can do. Yeah. You can use Centura Pearl if you want. You know, I know Anne-Marie's been here lately. You can use Adorable Scoreable if you want. You can use, so many of your cardstocks. It's entirely up to yourself. I'm choosing to use these smaller holes at an angle, and that's because this is 9mm, it gives me that ribbed effect that we can see just here. I don't want it to be smooth. You know, I like that crinkled effect. So all that I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I've got a little bit excess. Now, Becky, you could start to weave it back and forwards if you want. I don't. What I do is I chop it off at each bit, and I'm going to go in to the next one. So feeding it through. I'm not being careful because, as I say, I kind of want that crinkled effect with it being satin ribbon. But things like raffia would look beautiful when it comes to these ones here. So actually I need to come out of one actually. So let's come out. So I've gone under and under and pulling it through. If you head at the top, you could be using that if you want to. Works an absolute treat. So don't worry, I'm doing the whole lot. I'll do a couple more just to show you. And now, once again, what I do is I excess. I'm going to pull that back slightly, and then I'm going to cut. It's very therapeutic. I was doing these on, when was, actually, it was Thursday when the news had broke about the Queen. So I was doing this then, and it is a very, very therapeutic, you know, craft. Sounds, you're concentrating on feeding through the aperture holes, that your mind just goes blank.
Yeah. It's a bit like doing cross stitch, isn't it? It's that kind of thing. It's a simple movement to create a really beautiful design at the end.
Funny you saying that. Just last week I bought a few really mini cross stitch Christmas kits to do.
Because you did those last year, didn't you?
I did, yeah. I'd done that. Well, it's coming up for a year ago when I had my first stint in the hospital, and I wanted something to do other than just crafting, because I took my Spectrum Noir pens with me, tri-blends.
And your Gemini.
I did, yeah, I did. I absolutely did. I won't lie, I don't think I really used it when I was in the hospital, but I got carried away with colouring and cross-stitching.
Yeah.
And then what I'd done on a Facebook Live, actually, is I showed you how, using the shaped nesting dies that we launched, I used the stitched edge shaped nesting die, how it's good to create a card blank front for any cross-stitch designs that you do.
Fantastic.
So yeah, I done that. But all that I'm going to do, look at that, I've just pulled that one out there. So I'm not going to go any further, Becky. I'm just going to pull that top, and you can see how by doing that I've got that ruffled effect. So let's snip that, and once again, the other part I'm not going to do, but I'll do this bottom bit to show you. I would take that off, and now I would hold this bit, pull it taut, and then I would press that into my red liner tape.
Okay.
So going in, pulling it taut, and now pulling that one taut, and then all that I would do is come along, snip all these little excess bits off. And by doing it on one continuous roll, it just means that you are really not wasting any. You know, you're not having to second guess.
It could be a bit bulky if you were kind of just continue it, wouldn't you? Because you'd be underneath that edge with extra ribbon. And we want to minimise how much waste we have, don't we?
Of course we do, absolutely. We really, really do. And I've gone in at an angle, but you can come along, Becky, carry on doing it the other way. Maybe you want to do different ribbons, different threads, maybe you want to do a little bit of paper piecing. What I've done on my finished one is I've gone in, it was actually some baby blue pearls I've used. I don't have them with me, I've just got normal pearls. So what I'm going to do in these centre bits, I'm only going to do these three, I'm going to go in and pop a little pearl in the middle. So let's take that one.
I've managed to get you say pearl and swirl today.
Pearl and swirl.
There was something else you said, one of my favourite words. You didn't say squirrel yet.
Not
Squirrels with pearls.
I've not said it yet?
No, not yet.
No? Let's see if you can get me to say that by the end of the day. Adding the pearls in, and then once it's finished, this is what it could look like.
Gorgeous.
How beautiful is that?
Stunning, absolutely stunning.
Works really, really well. And what I have done is I've gone in and I have added foam to the back. I would say that it's optional. However, Becky, please keep in mind, it's not really bulky at the back, but you do have that tiny little bit of bulk when it comes to the ribbon. So yes, you could use flat adhesive, but it will bulge ever so slightly. So that's why I'm putting it on some foam pads. I've got strips here for ease, but you could use your little squares of that. I'm not going to take all these off. What I'm doing is I'm taking a select few so that I've got that initial grab in the centre. The rest all around, that's just keeping it level. I've gone in with another piece of the blue from Winter Sparkle, 4 1/4 by 5 3/4. That can go over the top. Create a shaker if you wanted to with acetate to the back. And then all that we need to do is if we come into these layers here, and this is the one, so that you know exactly what you're looking for if you're going on Shop the Day. This is the Knitwit Home Body 12 by 12.
Yep.
That may just be in a little bundle. The blue I'm using is a baby blue Cintura Pearl, which if you shop the Day, you may find that in a little Cintura Pearl bundle. And of course, we've gone in with our navy blue. Very fine matting layer with the navy blue. Finish off, take these ones off the back here. I'm going to pop it on a 5 by 7 card. So take that one off. That can go there. I have created this out of an 8 by 8 card, Becky, so that I've got that tent fold at the top, because usually your 5 by 7 opens to the left.
Yep.
I do love a tent fold card, so that's opening at the top there. Pop that one on, take this one off. So take all of these ones. This is going to go into the middle panel, just like so. And pop that one there. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to turn it that way so it does fold to the left, but it's still your 5 by 7. And one of our sentiment dies, It's a Boy.
Lovely.
It is out of the white linen card, but to create that chipboard effect, I've die cut it 3 times and layered it straight over the top of each other. So it gives it that thick chipboard effect.
Yeah.
And then what I am going to do, because we've got pearls here, I'm going to use my glue gel. Now at home, you will probably decide where it's going to go. And of course, because I wasn't sure at the time where I was going to pop the sentiment, I've just done that full background. And then we can go in, so we could go in the middle, we could go at the side, we could go, actually, do you know what? I am going to do it that way. Now, that could all be pink for a girl, or if you want to be unisex, it could be yellow. Of course, as we say, we know boys like pink and girls like blue, absolutely. But if you are going to keep it to those colours, there we go, the ribbon threading.
That is absolutely beautiful.
It's a Boy, baby
so
blues.
effective. Really,
Lovely.
really like that. So this is your Creator Card ribbon threading dies. This first one is your elaborate lace. So you'll see that they all follow, there's 2 dies in here, as Craig was saying. So you've got that outer die, but you've also got the larger one that has all the spaces for your threading. So that's elaborate lace. This next one is the diagonal lace. Then we have bold florals. This one is pretty florals. Then we have Baroque swirls, very, very pretty this one. as well. £46 or $53. Your platinum price is £36.80 or $42.40. Lots of people have been messaging and saying how much they loved the card you just made, but also Jerry says the ribbon threading is a labour of love. You can use thin strips of paper as well. That's a really good idea. And Your Honour said thank you very much for showing the embossing sandwich, Craig. Do message in if you've got any questions for us. We're going to be here all day. We'll have a little bit of a break and we'll see you in a couple of moments.
When it started about 20 years ago, probably a bit longer, because when my youngest daughter was born, I decided to do scrapbooking. I got all this amazing crafty stuff that I put into all these pages. Really, I started getting into card making probably about 15 years ago, and then that was it. I have so many people that inspire me, and I have to say, and I'm not just saying it because I'm a crafter's companion, but Sarah Davies was one of the first people that I got to meet in the craft industry. My mum got me into crafting to meet Sarah Davies. I mean, when I then got on this design team, when I got to work with Sarah closely, everything from then on was amazing. But my mum is definitely in my life through my crafting. Gossip, I can't give you any gossip. I mean, that's between us. Do you know what? We were just literally in the green room. Everyone, it's just been done out. And it's just this gossip fest, and it's amazing because we're all such good friends, genuinely, and I know you all know that, but we have the most amazing time between us all. Me and Craig bounce off each other because we're very similar in our crafty ways, but also me and Debbie, we're full of giggles and amazing on the set and off the set. It's just incredible to work at. I have to say, I'm a bit of a singer and a dancer. I'm not good at either. Second to a Michael Jackson tribute, which I was quite gutted about because I thought I might have won that. So I used to do a bit of to be part of an adult dance group, and it's something I'd like to take lessons. Many of our viewers bring up time and time again, and that's our wax seal. Joe's laughing. Oh, I've forgotten to put me thing in place. Oh, Joe.
Words, but I think that doesn't engage with that and can come out all wrong. Water.
That wasn't the one you just washed your brush in.
Doesn't matter.
No, it wasn't, was it?
Those things always make me laugh. That one absolutely hilarious. We're here today, and I'm here with the lovely Craig, which is great because I never get a chance to a whole day. The next thing we're going to be looking at are absolutely beautiful. We've got loads of different things in here. If I show you what we've got here, so you've got these tropical tags. Now these are really big gift tags, and I know that we had a show. I think it might have been. One. Someone was asking about gift tags. This would be a really great die collection. So you've got those all those sort of little floral dies, but also those little tags in there too. And then you've got the sentiments in here. Spread your wings. All those little dies for you to stamp your sentiments. Dies. You've got your Heavenly Hummingbird die. Now this is a really big die. Again, you've got two different dies. You've got one with all the detail, but you've also got that outer edge die there. got your embossing folder here, which is absolutely beautiful. This is, I think this is one of the 3D embossing folders that you've got here. This next one is your fragrant florals. So you've got the die and stamp set with all those different embellishments there. And then you've also got this textured lace die here too, which is really, really beautiful. Not only do you get all of those, but you also get all of those beautiful colours that are going to work beautifully with all those different designs. And we've also got a collection of your vellums in here. So these have just got some white card on the back, but they are actually all those different vellums. You've got some really beautiful designs in here. So the price for this is £50 or $61. Your platinum price is £40 or $48.80. And Craig, you're going to be using your these in your next demonstration, aren't you?
I am indeed. And can you believe it? This is the first time I'm getting to bring to you the Hummingbird collection that we've got ever since it launched. Off the top of my head, it was myself and Debbie Robinson that launched it. Debbie was on this side, I was on your side as well, and it absolutely flew out to the point we were having to take stock from other channels that we do because it just gone. It had gone. And so many would agree, yes, dancing dragonflies, but the Hummingbird paper pad that originally came with it was one of our best. So if you manage to get your hands on that, brilliant. So lucky we managed to do this. As I say, this is one of those collections that we've managed to get from the warehouse due to the warehouse move, that we found some bits and pieces we can put into a collection, and that's what we're going to do. So let's have a look. As Becky was going through everything that you're getting the tag die set with the sentiments, the flowers as well. You know, you can do all of your heat embossing. If you watched myself and Leanne on the launch of the new Academy of Colour yesterday, she actually showed you how you can do this water technique when it comes to your clear or white embossing powder. So you can always go back, and that will give you a visual guide as to how you can do that. Just to say, the new Colour Me Academy box is across on our website, so do check that out if you didn't see us yesterday. But you've got the Hummingbird, you've got the Edgeable. Have a play with the card blanks that you do. Bring in your mats and layers dies. Another one here, Becky, this is using the stamps in the bundle, but gold heat embossing. That's an Edgeable. And similar to what I've done with the Snowflake, pull them together and you've got that elongated strip. So larger cards, you know, you maybe want to do gift tags, little memory books with these. You can. I mean, this one here, if it's doing your fallbacks, your concepts, you know, these are beautiful for side stepper cards. And what about a shaker? Bit of a shaker card that you can go in, do your own little overlay paper piece, and so to speak.
That's lovely.
And in actual fact, I didn't see this card before when I was prepping this last week. And the running theme of this card is very similar to what I'm going to show you, but in different ways. So what we're going to do, let's start with the die cutting when it comes to the Hummingbird. So what I've done is I've taken the linen cardstocks, like the fuchsia, and I've taken some of our white multi-purpose cardstock. And the same as what I was talking about before, Becky, with the Snowflake, you get the outer die and the inner die. So use them together, you get a separate element. I very rarely use the outer die. I cut my layer to the size I want, which happens to be 5 1/4 by 5 1/4. So we can go in, I'm going to bring my low tack tape here, and I'm going to secure this. Now our tape is low tack tape, however with the pressure of the Gemini it can catch some of the fibres of the cardstock. So where possible I always put my low tack tape on what will be a die cut part. So we can then run these ones through. So plastic magnetic top plate. That's going to go through the junior, it will of course go through the MIDI, and it will of course go through your larger machines as well. Always like to point out, we use the Gemini because it's ours, and in my opinion and everyone else's, it is the best out there. Saying it, it's just the absolute truth. So much so that so many of us, I know for sure myself, Debbie Robinson, we bought all our Geminites even before we joined Crafter's Companion. So that goes to show. In actual fact, I was on a waiting list for the Junior when it first launched.
Really?
Yeah, I pre-ordered it as soon as I could do. So yeah. So I'm going to take this one out. Now, by doing it this way, this is where you can keep certain elements if you were going to do some paper piecing. I'm not going to, of course. So what I'm going to do is either tap it like I've done before, or go in with your tools and take out all of these little bits. What will then happen is you're going to get all these little bits coming out, but the wings of the hummingbird, that can pop out, Becky.
Oh, that's beautiful, isn't it?
Pop out, and
I love the fact that it's really been thought about how you can use these in different ways. Like you said, paper piecing. It's not. It's a die that you can use in lots of different ways, different things. You can snip bits of those, flowers out if you wanted to, couldn't you?
You can. You absolutely can. That's entirely up to you. Always remember as well is if the die is 5 by 7 or smaller, pop it on your foil press. This, off the top of my head, I want to say is 9 seconds on low heat on the foil press. And it is literally, guys, off the top of my head. I'm trying to think, because I do so many of our wafer thin dies on the foil press, they need very little time because it's only the die cut areas that you need to heat up.
Yep.
So you really don't need a lot of time. What will happen is instead of the die cut parts, die cutting is going to be foiled. So all that I'm going to do is pop out these little bits there, work my way in, pop these ones. I'm going to come back to these bits, pop them out, go all the way through. This is where all your tools come into hand. So we're going to go in, pop them all out, and take these ones out. I'll still be a couple of seconds, Becky. Is there anything you want to go over?
There's a few. We've got Monday Mega Deal, which is going to be really useful for particularly if you've been watching the show and you're always going to need more bits and pieces. So this is sort of a tool selection we've got here. So you've got some of the glue pens, which you were talking about, which I haven't got. I'm just saying, I think I need these. So you've got your glue pens. You've also got your edge crimper. Then you've got your pokey tools, which of course we all need all the time. I've got a few of these at home and I can never seem to find the ones that I'm looking for. You've got your set of tweezers in here, so all different types of tweezers for all sorts of different things. So even if you are a soft crafter like I am, I need these when I'm using some adhesive sprays for small pieces of applique. And then we've got a pack of scissors as well. Now the scissors are great because you can use them for soft craft, you can use them for paper craft. Even if you get a bit of glue on them, you can just rub get this little bundle, and great for gifts for people that are starting down their crafting journey. £21.96 or $32.42. Platinum price is £17.57 or $25.94. Now this is only a 24-hour deal, so if you do want to take advantage and pop it into your basket as soon as you possibly can. Lots of people messaging in saying your cards look beautiful. Lovely samples of all the cards that we've got there. People are really enjoying what you're doing today, and I think it's actually we had a message earlier on from, I can't even see who it was because it was quite some time ago. Jerry says about she loves a guillotine, received it last week and cuts like a dream. So that's when we were talking about using the guillotine for cutting small pieces. Marit says I have the whole collection of the Winter Sparkle and I've really been looking forward to this day. Lots of you already have the Winter Sparkle, or some of you may be interested, thinking I might buy it, or actually you just want some inspiration for the coming winter season because it is only 104 days, I think. Sorry, it's not going to take very long for us to get to the winter time, even if you're not celebrating Christmas, but definitely worth getting that inspiration from today as well.
It is, and that's what we're about as well. You know, sometimes, for whatever reason, maybe you're not after a certain collection, maybe you can't reach to a full collection, or maybe you're just wanting inspiration. We're here for that.
Yeah.
We're here for the inspiration. And so many that were saying yes yesterday, if you're joining us for company and inspiration, you're not buying anything. She just, it makes her smile,
Yeah.
knowing that, you know, we are here to, you know, just give some company in the background or watching us all day during the shows.
Yeah.
You know, and it's lovely to know. It really, really
And
is.
it's a good opportunity for people to message in. I mean, you might have a question about anything.
Yes.
Anything about any of the products that we use. It might not be a product we've got on the show today, but still message in. If we've got time, we will answer your questions wherever we can. So for some people, I know I used to watch shows and I used to think, I don't know what you're talking about. You know, people would say a particular word and I think, I've got no, talking about an embossing folder, and you're like, I don't know what that is. I've got no idea. And actually, this is the opportunity. We've all had to learn from the beginning. This is the opportunity to message in and ask us some questions, because Craig's here all day.
Absolutely, you know, and some people you'll sometimes find that they'll say, oh, I didn't want to ask because it's a silly question. Nothing's a silly question. There's always going to be some, I could promise you, if you think you've got a silly question, someone else has been scared to ask it as well. Ask it, you know, something from what may be very, very basic. We all start somewhere when it comes to crafting and the learning, the knowledge. Ask away. All of us, as well as here on the shows, and I really like to always point this out, all of us here are on social media.
Yep.
It's our full name. For instance, you know, Becky Sworn, CC, Craig Laird, CC, Jan Brown, CC. We're all there with CC at the end. Whether it is Facebook, whether it is Instagram, we're there. So if we're not live, you can always ask questions and that, and we'll always get back and help wherever we can. So it's not just what I've done is you'll see that my fuchsia cardstock is the same size as my white cardstock. While Becky was going over that incredible deal, which we'll be using in the craft along, I went over the back with my tacky glue, but I didn't do it onto the wings because I wanted to keep them free flowing, save a little bit of time. Instead of going all over the back, you can see with the next one I'm away to show you is I've done a double cut with the fuchsia, so you get a drop shadow. So you can go full on platform that you can see like I've done here, or die cut the fuchsia and do a little drop shadow. And that is moving your cardstock. For me, I move it down to the bottom right hand side, only by a couple of millimeters. And once again, what I've done is I've made sure that the wings stay flexible. And I've not glued the two wings together that you can see there. So it's like a double leaf wing that we can see. I have already got my foam on this one. So that's why I'm going to use this one. And also we're going to pop a little bit of vellum before we finish off. So if I take all of these ones off, I can set that to the side and use that on another card. Set that one to the side. Multi-purpose cardstock, 7x7. This is one. Can you remember, or have you got any idea as to what I am away to do? You guys at home might be thinking, I know what he's away to do. So,
I've got no idea.
oh, sorry guys, that was a bit of a morning test for them in the gallery.
I haven't had their coffee this morning yet.
Not yet. No, actually, I've not had a copy yet this morning.
We don't have Christina in the cafe.
We don't, do we?
And I don't really know what to do with myself when I come in, because there's no opportunity to have breakfast or.
So hopefully she's going to be back soon.
I think she is. I think she's having a lovely holiday, but I do miss the cake.
Oh, she's incredible, isn't she?
Terry says, what type of glue do you use with glitter card?
So glitter card, for me, you know, Leanne would say as well, yes, it's glittered, so it's textured. Whether it is actual glitter card or encapsulated glitter card, it is a coated cardstock. So use your tacky glue. If you use your all-purpose glue, because of the contents, the ingredients of it, it can actually strip back the coating.
Right.
So anything with a coating, if you use your tacky glue, anything such as a matte cardstock, a linen cardstock, that base cardstock, you can use your all-purpose glue for that one. So
And
hopefully-
Christine says, when using the new glue pens for foiling, do you put the foil on whilst it's blue?
So, really good question, and we will spend a little bit of time on Monday Makers, if that's okay, Johnny, to go over them on Monday Makers. The blue, do what you need to do, and you let the blue dry clear. You let it go clear, so to speak. It doesn't dry. You let the blue go clear,
Right.
then put your foam on, foil on, sorry.
Okay.
So hopefully that helps. So whatever medium you put onto your sticky glue pen, let the blue turn clear,
Yeah.
then you apply
Right.
your medium.
Okay. Sandra says, can I start the Academy of Colour classes at Christmas, or do I have to do them now? Hubby has got me the 3 currently out for a Christmas present, and I want to be good and wait.
You can start them now.
Yep.
You can start them in November, you can start them December, February, April next year. Every box, you're going to get a QR code.
Yeah.
And you simply hover your phone in the camera over the top.
Okay.
That will take you to Leanne's educational videos every single time.
Right.
They are there for you to go to, as I say, today, next week, next month, next year. They will be there for you.
And they're there forever?
Yes.
Okay,
They will
brilliant.
be there. So it's a dedicated site or platform that QR code will take you to. So, yeah. What Leanne suggested yesterday, which is a good idea, the little card with the QR code, it sits in the box on a little glue dot. Take that one off and stick it onto the inside of the box lid so you never lose it.
Good idea.
Or, of course, if you're savvy when it comes to computers, you could always save the page or the video along those lines. But yes, if it is going to be a Christmas present, absolutely, you can start whenever
That's
you
a good
like.
present.
Really good, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Well done, your hubby, is what I would say. Because when I first came in and I having things in boxes.
Yeah, me too.
And they're so beautiful. There's something about it, isn't there? Having everything all contained in that beautiful storage box. Lovely.
It's luxurious, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sophisticated. And I bought the new one yesterday, in between shows. So I bought the first one, and I bought the second. And actually, that's a very good point there. I bought the first one, and I've bought the second one. Now I have bought, well, I don't want to contradict myself, actually. So the first one was actually the main box of everything.
Yeah.
So that was the main box.
Yeah.
The first one was the portraits.
Right.
Then the second one was last night's Fauna and Flora.
Flora,
That was yesterday's. So I've got them, but I've not started the education yet. So I can go back whenever I want and start the education. And that's what I'm planning to do. It's not as if I've had like 9 weeks off.
We always do, don't we? So I think when everyone was in sort of lockdown, everyone had, I kept seeing everyone was having these great plans, and I'm sorting out this box and I'm sorting out that cupboard, and I think I thought about sorting out a cupboard, but I don't think I actually did it.
Bathroom, Becky, I've had paint to paint it for, I think I bought it at the end of last year actually, with the intent, well, no, it must have been towards the start of this year, because obviously I had a bit of time off as well last year. So it was early this year, I bought paint to paint and decorate sitting in the cupboard.
Oh.
And as I say, I did get to a point where I was fully mobile and I could have done it while recovering.
Yeah.
But no, I've not done it.
No.
Still not done it.
At some point, the inspiration will hit you, and you're
well,
coming into work covered in paint. All in your hair. What colour are you going for in your bathroom?
So it's like a very light pastel mint tone.
Oh, nice.
With little bits of blue, yeah. This is one of my favourites. I love it. Now, I'm not going to do the whole lot, Becky, but what I would do is I would continue all the way around. So I've stamped, it's kind of like a banana leaf, or, you know, some people call it different things. You can do any one. I've gone for that one, and I've used my Flagstone alcohol proof, stamped around the edges, and I've gone in with Ice Grey 2 tri-blend. Could be Ice Grey 2 Classique or Illustrator, that's up to you. Continue going all the way around, and then it'll look like that. If you want to colour it,
That's
you can.
beautiful. I love the idea that you've done that.
It's so fab,
I
and
would
it's
never have thought
something,
of done that.
you know, I do often because I enjoy doing it. It is at times a labour of love, but it really, really is worthwhile doing. Now I'm going back and I'm turning my edges that we were talking about earlier on, and I do this, Becky, if I've got my cardstock.
Right.
Because it's too flexible.
Yeah.
There's more of a chance that I'm going to not get it straight.
Yeah.
So this is where I do turn the edges of my cardstock so that I've got that freedom if I don't get it right, because sometimes even my fingers underneath here can pull in the matting layer. So I'm going in over the top. I'm going to then press that in. I'm happy with that. If for whatever reason on this side here it tucks back in, just press down the other edges and go in with your pokey tool and pull up the edges. Go in for it that way, and that is it done. So we're then going to take these ones off, and now we can then bring in our cards. As you can tell, if you are new to us, I do love my big cards. That's going to go into here. I've taken a piece of the vellum and I've cut it to 5 3/4 by 5 3/4, so I'm still getting that framework, hence why I've not done it all the way in. So before I attach that, I'm going to do what I've done within my first demo. I'm going to get that, position that where I want it to be, and then I'm going to press. Now for this one, I could use my tape, a little bit of ease. I'm going to go in with my tacky glue, and I'm going around where these foam pads are. So you're not going to see the adhesive. And we can go into here. Johnny, have I got time to make a very quick flower from this collection? Thank you.
That's beautiful. I love those colours. That grey with the pink works really well, doesn't it?
Works really well, doesn't it? It works really well. And it would still, you know, it would still look lovely, Becky, if you'd done that full background with that little bit of vellum all the way around. That drop shadow works a treat.
Yeah.
So let's start to finish this one off. We're going to go into the tag dies here. And I'm going to use the 3 florals here. So we're going to take these ones off, taking some of this mint green. I think I was quite stingy, and you can always tell when I use my own product because I'm stingy as anything. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to tape that down. I'm going to tape it really well so that it doesn't jump. I'm going to take a little bit of the fuchsia. There's even this tiny little dot. That's going to go into there. And I've taken a little piece of the vellum and I'm going to cut that one in. All of these will go through the mini, but of course I'm going to go in with my junior, pop these ones on, bring in my plates here, and very briefly show you how I've assembled 3 other flowers that I've already got. And this is where you can come in with your ink, and Becky. If you want to add extra ink around the edges, you can do. If you want to create your flowers out of vellum, or, you know, remember, flower dies that may at first initially look like they're designed for cardstock, you can use them with our flower forming foam.
Yep.
Use them for them. So let's take these ones out here. So carefully take that one, and that little circle. So I'm going to call it a banana leaf. Might be
It's
some.
a monstera leaf, isn't it? It's
what, sorry?
Monstera.
Cheese plant. Is
Yeah,
it?
or monstera. Cheese plant. Okay, all right, cheese.
Let's say cheese plant. Cheese plant. So I've already done another 2, so I've got 3 altogether. The way that I've shaped the flowers I'm away to show you is that I like to use the back of my stamping mat. I do it on the back and I do it down in the bottom corner because I don't want to damage the front of my stamping mat. And just with a pokey tool, I just press.
Okay.
So I'm pressing in. You can shape them with your ball tools if you want to, but sometimes I like doing this. I like doing this with my Christmas poinsettias. So I'm using my, and this is where we're going to get extra dimension, because although my main panel, it's still relatively flat, so this is where the depth's going to come. These ones. So let's bring in our glue. So pop a tiny little bit in the middle, overlay the middle one, let it grab for a few moments. We're then going to put our next bit in, overlay that one into the centre, and tiny little dot. And what I'm going to do, tiny little bit of glue on my pokey tool. I'm going to pick it up, and as I say, that will dry clear.
Yeah.
And that is how I've done these ones here. So I'm going to use these 3 because they're completely dry, but that's how I've done it. So we can then my sentiment, which is from this collection as well. Thank you for all that you do. Let's use my pokey tool that I use for my, see roughly, so I could do that. Do it this way, pop these ones off. I'm going to pop that down there, and for me visually I'm still doing it so I've still got that little, it's kind of like a matte and layer edge to it with the white. And that one on into there, tuck it to the side. I'm going to go in, that can go into there. Can you imagine a spring, or do them in autumn colours? You know, you can be using them for many, many different ways. But let's take this last one, I'm just shaping them ever so slightly into there, and then there we go. So it's using a lot of the elements anyway from each individual component of that hummingbird. So we've done a bit of stamping, we've done a bit of die cutting, we've done a bit of shaping, we've done a bit of inking, try to cover a few techniques within that one.
That's absolutely beautiful. Mahoney says, oh wow, love this Craig, this card, Craig. And good morning, and beautiful hummingbird card, Craig. I think it is absolutely. You've got your linen cardstock in all of those beautiful colours. You've then got your selection of vellums in there as well. Your tropical tags, embellishments. You've got spread your wings and stamps. Then this next one is your embossing folder. You've then got this stamp and die set here with all those sort of floral elements. And then finally you have this textured lace die here too. So the price today is £50 or $61. Your platinum price is £40 or $48.80. So give you the opportunity.
Our craft experts come from all over the UK to HQ up in the northeast, and here they are telling you a little bit about where they're from and what it's famous for.
For the last nearly 30 years, just coming up for 30 years, I have lived in Nottingham, and that's where I still live, and I absolutely love it. Now, anybody that knows Nottingham knows it's famous for Robin Hood, and obviously I'm one of the descendants from Robin, because we're Robin's sons. Along, obviously my husband's line.
Well, originally I'm from West Yorkshire, but I live in Norfolk at the minute, and Norfolk is
beautiful. I think it's famous for the bra. Beautiful holiday destination, and we moved there to be nearer to my mother and father-in-law, and oh, I just don't regret it. It's the most amazing place in the world.
So I live in Sheffield, which is one of the cities in Yorkshire, and I'm born and bred, absolutely. And the thing that it's most famous for, which if people aren't aware, is in the past creating Sheffield steel, of course, stainless steel. Some of them are still working. There are some of the foundries still down in the city centre, but I live right on the very outskirts, and I'm very lucky that I live in a rural part of the area. It's lovely and green, countryside, little picturesque village, and I wouldn't change it for the world.
Welcome to Club Inspire, the crafters' companion community where you can feed your crafty obsession. Join our fantastic loyalty club today and receive 20% off your first order. We'll also give you 250 points to help get you started. Other benefits of joining Club Inspire include exclusive special offers and discounts for Club Inspire members only, exclusive sneak peek previews of brand new product launches, and of course the Club Inspire community group on Facebook, where you can access exclusive content such as downloads, offers and inspiration, and of course you can chat and share your makes with other members. You'll receive 1 point for every pound, dollar or euro you spend, and the more points you receive, the more benefits you'll unlock. So what are you waiting for? Sign up, join the club and start rewarding yourself today.
Hello everybody. Well, about us, and I find out a lot about everyone else because we barely get a chance to speak or see where people come from, so it's really quite interesting to, from my point of view, to find out what everyone's been doing and where they live, because I'm quite nosy. The next thing we're going to be having a look at are the Gatefold dies that we've got here. Very, very intricate dies that we've got in this collection here. Now you can see how the dies are created once they've been cut out of the card. They are really, really stunning. Obviously you're only seeing them in white here. After you've cut them out of your mirror card, your glitter card, they can look absolutely beautiful. So this first one is your opulent botanicals. This one here is your classic. So many different ideas, you know, all sorts of things. Wedding cards, obviously, like that key thing. You know, using this for a wedding invitation would be absolutely the thing I would use them for. This next one is a lace and scroll. Deco vines, so very Art Deco imagery there, and you've got floral swirls, and then reading that, I could just see mead, because I had my thumb over there. I think it doesn't look like mead, it doesn't look like beer to me. But this collection is £53 or $71. Your platinum price is £42.40 or $56.80. Craig, have you got some samples for this one to show us?
I do. First bundle I'm going to show you is how to, what you could do with the concept of these ones. I've got another bundle that shows you different things that you can do. Because what I'm going to This is what the dies were initially intended for. Your double decorative gatefold cards. Look at that. Isn't that fab?
Beautiful.
Really, really fab. There is, you know, you can do that double fold, but you'll see in a moment how you can use them differently. Together, put it that way. You know, you've got their two sides together, they've been designed, that outside edge, that inner decorative gatefold element. Pop acetate at the back of them, do some paper piecing if you want to. Go in with your metallic markers. In with your gilding flakes. How fab's that? Even use them as a bit of decoration. But look what else you can do, Becky. If you want to use them just one of them on
Yeah.
the side of your card. You absolutely included with each one too, different design on each one. You know, you can do your full back. Using one of them on the front, but on the inside,
Oh, wow.
using them. Isn't that fab?
Yeah.
It's kind of like a cake. Your card front.
Lovely.
So the way that they were intended to be used, and also some different ways. So what I'm going to do is make a Halloween card.
Of course.
Of course. And we're going to be using the lace and scrolls, but I'm only going to be this one off here. So let's take that one off. You can tell this one hasn't been used. Decorative tags on the back there. I only want the outside one.
Okay.
Rest I'm going to pop to the side. Black mat card, I've created my own card blank. So the actual card blank is 5 by 6. Fold element. That's your decoration, of course. That's your outline. But this side here, this edge, Becky, that's what would go up to the fold or the spine of your card. So that won't cut, which is giving you that gatefold element.
Yeah.
Perfect. So what I am going to do for this one is I'm going to open up my card blank, and I'm going to do exactly as I said there. I'm going to pop the edge right to the edge, and I'm going to go in. So I'm going to line that one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tape that down, tape that down. This, I say, would be waste. We using it again. So what I'm going to do is just care. Only in case my low tack tape was to catch some of the fibres. So I'm going to put a bit there and a bit there. And I'm going to do them both together. Please do. But as long as I'm securing it, it's not going to budge, and we're going to be good.
Okay.
So I'm going to go in, and this is just because we're actually going horizontally. I am going double cut so that even the center components of that gatefold die is going to cut. What I can then do carefully going to peel these off. So this part comes away a little bit. Yes, isn't it? That's why
it's like
I
looking
thought.
through like the wrought iron into, yeah, like the haunted house.
So even if you were to use it on the left fold, you can see we have got a left fold just at the side there. Do it so you know what I mean. I've taken a piece of the orange. I'll be able to explain what I meant by it's and edge. So either with my guillotine or my scissors, I'm going to, so as we can take this one off, take that off here, very. So this is where it stayed in place. So a faint emboss line.
Oh yes.
So all that I'm going to cut down. So what I can then do is I'm going to go in, I'm going to go over the back with my tacky glue. If you're going to use your spray, just shield this part of the that will be nice and sticky. Alternatively, your dotted tape runner will be absolutely. So sketching over the back when it comes to my tacky as I put pressure. So then what I'm going to do, straight over the top, and I'm going to fold it in. What happens is I still want the card to fold over on the fold line, or that's going to jam it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to make sure that it's nice and comfortable. Along ever so slightly, and if you've got an overhang, just trim it, or the overhang can look quite effective. So I'm set this one to the side for now. I'm going to bring in my die once again. Let's take out all the bits. I know Leanne's in today, let's hope. And take this other piece as it happens. I've got both of them again so that I get a separate component. So let's take. These are things that you can do that bit box, we usually sometimes think of tiny little bits, but you do get sometimes these size ones can be but on the other hand they're too small to do something decent with.
Yeah, it's very true.
So we're going to run this one through. With that outside die, I've cut a back panel in orange as well. So I've done it once, don't need to do that one again. So take all that off, so we're going to trim down, scissors or guillotine. And then this is where you're going to come in with your card. We're going to come in with our card. Flipped them the other way. Pop your adhesive on the other side. I haven't done it wrong. Don't worry, I haven't done it wrong. But what you would then do to your orange, give you this look.
Right.
And I've done it the same with the one on. So let's bring all these elements together. We are then going to bring in acetate to the same size as my card blank at the back. So let's go in with our tape. Here. And as we remove these ones off the back here, I'm going to put my acetate lined up to the edge, and then I'm going to close. Is I'm going to take, I happen to put red liner tape on the back. Because of the material that acetate is, your normal double-sided tape will. So if you don't have red liner tape, don't worry. It's habit that any strong material, I'll tend to do a red liner tape,
Right.
but you sided tape that I've done.
Yeah.
And then what I'm going to do, now it's hard to see because it's acetate, up against the edge of, so we've now got that effect there. What we can then do, die cut another outline of the die. To go die cut it on the flip so that you're not going to see tape. And then to finish off, what I've already done is I've coloured it our Halloween box. If pumpkin in that. So we're going to overlay that, Becky, so we're not seeing any of the work. So let's take this one off. taken them off. I've even written myself a little note there, so I remembered. I'm always very, very tape I put on. So there we go, we've hidden the workings now. So then what I'm going to do, either the hand, if you got your hands on that one, a little bit of black and white, it's got some bats on it. Just so that you know, to 4.5 by satin layer, that is 1/4 inch bigger. I've already pre-cut that diamond, but I'll explain what I've done. So let's take this one off. Back. Let's close that one here. So this is what I've done with the pumpkin. So I'll one of them.
Yeah.
These two, cut down the middle and extend them. So what we're then going to do is we're then going to take my black one, bottom, and we're going to at one in. Let's
It's so effective. Just otherwise, you'd be sort of trying to think, how can I make it? Isn't it?
It does. It really, really does. It looks effective. It looks really, really well. On the black kind of just disappears. So extend. Which is put that to the side there, of course, but using the Halloween box, I've dyed with 3 of them. Johnny got very, very excited there.
Yeah.
Bending it up there. If you want to do them in white or drop one there, and that's all that I'm going to do. As I say, Gatefold dies
That's lovely.
to create a Halloween card.
That's absolutely brilliant. Really
Now
love that. Yeah.
That could be black and purple.
Yeah.
It could be, you know, black and green if you wanted
Yeah.
to. It's entirely up.
Very good. We're going to go and do vote for the show, which is going to be. So do get your votes in. So Craig's going to show you what he's got. We've got how many did we? We've gone through them really quickly, haven't we, on the show today? But I particularly like the idea of using that other.
Absolutely.
You need to get your votes in, please. So number 1 is that first one with Winter Sparkle. Number 2 is using that 3, and finally number 4 is a Gatefold with the Halloweeny kind of. I'll show you again. Show them one more time.
Just to say, if anyone was wondering, that pumpkin, it's either tri-blends or class.
So, number 1, number 1, number 2. Would have thought it was so difficult to count 1 to 4.
Yeah.
I'm really struggling today. Collection. This is the one that we've just seen Craig using now. So you've got loads and loads of different designs you can use in here. So you've got those 2 different dies here, 2 those dies to do your matte and layers and for that little sort of piece in the front. So this is your opulent botanicals. This we have your lace and scrolls. This next one is your deco vines. Final one is a floral meadow. So the price for this is £53, $71. Your platinum price is £42.40 or $56.80. Lots of people messaging in saying card. Leonie says, I love that card. Love the card, Craig. Love the card. Love the card. Love the card.
Thank you.
Love the card. I think is the overwhelming.
Yeah. Instead of doing orange, if you'd done pink and then done a flower instead of a pumpkin,
Yeah.
I just showed you, but it can look completely different.
Yeah, absolutely. Probably not with the bats on it. Who knows? Who knows? So we've got Craft Along coming up at 2 o'clock with a winter sparkle. So this is what we've got left, effectively. So you've got some linen cardstock in all of those beautiful sort of blues and whites. You've also got your sequins. You've shimmer spray, you've got your sentiments, you've got some of the dyes still in the collection, so you've got the corner snowflake dye as well as that large put together and make 2. You've got stamps with your sentiments, you've got that panel dye as well, you've got sequins is left, and that's £60 or $77. Platinum price is £48 or $61.60. Do have a look at the website because we do have some other elements and other bits and pieces, so do have a look at those. We have got a winner. Now, which one do you think would have won, Craig?
Me?
Yeah, come on.
It's like choosing your child, isn't it?
Child? Oh.
No, I don't know. I couldn't choose my own.
Actually, number 4.
Oh, number 4. Just. They were
between all of them. They were all absolutely beautiful. So thank you. Had some problems with the gremlins. I don't know what they've been doing today, but we do have our engineer. Everything should be absolutely fine for the craft very shortly.